everybody. Welcome back to our independent program, MR Basketball Coaching and Refresh Clinic. Today is 37th webinar. Today we are with special guest, Mr. Roberto. We are pleased to welcome to Mr. Roberto. I really am lucky to know you, Mr. Roberto. I thank you for attending us and taking your precious time for us. I really appreciate that. Let's start, dear Roberto.
Yes. All right.
Yes, that's good.
You should feel me. Perfect timing, because now just finish the bell of ringing the bells here in the church. So with the bells we was singing, it was difficult for me to speak and for you probably to listen. So thank you for the invitation. Good evening to everybody. Believe me, for me this is a sun. It's sunshine, because to see a lot of friendly face and with who I share the court, I share the with only one of these guys I was officiating together. And can you imagine how young he was? Stefanos, we were officiating together on the court. Can you imagine? And he's still officiating. This is unbelievable. I don't understand how he can continue to officiate, but okay, this is another problem for this is a problem. We also with the Vitalis, we had a game together. So, but Vitalis and myself, we are retired now. Unfortunately for Stefanos, he's still on the court. Okay, this was just for joke. Good evening. For me, it's really a big pleasure. I'm sorry that we have to wait such a long time, but it was like this. And unfortunately, we had to wait a lot of time. And unfortunately, this coronavirus is still spreading all over the world. And here in Italy, I would like to say the conditions are much, much better than 2 months ago. Now we are restarting the life almost normally. If the life will be back normal ever, I don't know, but okay, we are trying to be better. But now, unfortunately, the news from all the other part of the world every day are telling us that there are a lot of people who are suffering of this corona, and there are a lot of people who still continue to die. And this Zoom call that we were hoping to stop with this webinar and start to work on the court, I have the feeling that they will continue. So thanks you for the invitation, Mohammed, and I hope that, I don't know, we will spend a nice time together, especially productive time.
Talking about IOT, dear Mr. Roberto wanted to share his expert knowledge about this topic. Let's start, dear Roberto.
Okay, I need to share my screen. Very good.
I allow
share my screen. Okay, sure. Now I will share, and now I will start to share. I will start to share with you my. If you want to buy one iPhone, I was checking how now. All right, let's start the presentation. If I will be able to move this. All right. So I hope that everybody is able to listen me and to understand some small ground rules about this webinar. I will explain. We will talk about this IoT, and probably is for sure is something that during this period, and probably also before, you already had a webinar, you already had lectures, so nothing is new. But I will try to give about this IoT something which is coming from my experience, my experience, and also my study about officiating, because IoT is something where I was working as a referee, and since the moment I became a referee instructor, and now it's almost 5 years, is something where I was working really hard in order to to bring this mentality to the referees that IOT is something which is really, really very important. Anyway, anytime there is something which is not clear that I'm talking to you, every time you need a clarification, anytime you need to make a question, please write a question in the chat, in the chat. And Mohammed, I'm kindly ask you to follow this situation. And if in any moment you can interrupt me, and then we can restart or come back to some concept. So this is the presentation that I was studying, I was implementing in the last 2 years. We will not have any video. It will be only slides, only concepts, because then what is my goal tonight is to give you the advice, to give you the basic, to understand what this IoT is. And then when you will go through the videos, through your videos, through the video of your friends, to any kind of video, then to start to look at the video also from this point of view, from the point of view from IoT. Why the title of this presentation is Climb to Successful Officiating? Because IoT are the basis. IoT are the starting point. If anybody of you, doesn't matter which point of your career you are, if we don't have this solid basis, probably there will be a moment when this less or this lack will pop up. And then probably it will be too late to restart from the beginning. That's why it's really important to work constantly about this. And I have the feeling that not all of us, I'm talking about Europe, I'm talking about the world, are used to work with themselves, with ourselves regarding IoT. We are more focused on the fouls, on the violation, but we need to understand that every time that we are calling a foul, every time that we are calling a violation, every time we are working or we are communicating, behind there is a strong job on the IoT. So the players, everybody knows that have fundamentals. Probably here we have Mohammed, which is a coach, knows better than anybody here. And the players' fundamentals are basically 3, which is the dribbling, the passing, and the shooting. And if I'm asking to Mohammed how the players are improving these skills, probably the answer will be only this: repetition, 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 repetition. There is no secrets. Whenever a player wants to improve the shot, want to improve the skills of dribbling, want to improve the skills of passing, he needs to do this 1,000 million times. And there is no training from the kid to the professional player when they are not repeating this kind of fundamentals. They are working every day, every single moment with these fundamentals, the players. And what about the referee? Who knows who are the referee's fundamentals? This is the problem, because if I don't know what are my fundamentals, how can I work on this? If I think that the fundamentals is something, but I'm not sure, I will work only on this. But we need to understand what are the referee's fundamentals. What are our basic that need to start from the basic course until they will be valid until the finish of our careers. Here I wanted to do this, how to say, question time, to know if you have idea about what are referee fundamental, but this webinar is very difficult to be interactive. So you are lucky tonight, because I will tell you what are the referee fundamentals. The referee fundamentals are this. This is our fundamentals. And when we talk about IoT, we talk about individual officiating technique. All of our fundamentals can be summarized in these points. And then we will go through one by one. Distance and stationary, referee the defense, stay with the play. And then we will really go deeper and deeper. Positioning, adjustment, open angle. Our fundamentals is to make a call, to make a decision, and then to communicate our decision. And then there are signals and reporting. Those are our fundamentals. Those are the things that we should practice every time that we are going on the court. This is the things that we should take care in one book, in one note, when we are watching our games and we are analyzing our calls or no calls or our decision, just to put every decision inside of these fundamentals. And probably doing this, we will fix a lot of small problems and we will work on the small details. And remember, if you want to grow up, the details are the things who will make the difference. And this is the question, the key question for a referee. How do you train with your IOT? What is your training regarding IOT? Everybody of you knows this. How are you working with your IOT in order to have self-improvement, in order to have success, in order to implement your skills, your individual officiating technique? Because now, what we have to talk, and this is one of the goals of this webinar, but it must be also your goal, to be good now is not enough anymore. Your country, my country, the world is full of good referees. To be good now is not enough. Now we need to step up from good to better in order to try to become the best. And in one moment in our career, in our progressing in our career, the step from good to better is not easy. But working hard, we can do it. But then the last step from the better to the best is really difficult. And I repeat, what is making the difference is also with the players is working on the details. The best shooter, I was lucky to know here in Italy, great shooters. And the best shooters, at the end of the training, they are stopping in the gym and they are working for another hour to implement their shooting. But they are very good shooters. Doesn't matter. They don't want to be good or better than the other. They want to be the best. And this is something that we have to have inside of us. If we have this fire inside of us, probably we will find the motivation to work hard also on IOT. Because I would really love that this sentence you should write in your agenda at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the season. To be good is not enough anymore. Now we have to strive for excellence, not to be perfect, because we will never be perfect. There is no referee who is perfect. I don't want the perfect referee. Nobody wants, because it's not human. We want human beings who are on the court, who are striving to do their best to become excellent. Don't stop to work when you feel that you are good, because good now is not enough. And for sure, if you stop there, there will be somebody else who is coming and they will overtake you very, very, very easily, because they will work on the details. So let's go step by step. First, fundamentals, distance and stationary. When we talk about distance, we talk about distance from the play. And when we talk about stationary, we are talking about stationary referee when he's making the decision. So it doesn't mean that I don't have to move, I don't have to run. No, 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 no. Don't misunderstand. Stationary is when I have to make the decision. Let's talk about stationary. Stationary, it means distance, that I have to maintain the proper distance from the play. I need to find the correct distance between myself and the play with one sentence, one must. I need to avoid to be so close, too close to the play. Because if I am too close, I will lose the perspective. And if I am too close, everything that is happening in front of me will look faster. And if I see something faster, my normal reaction will be faster. So for us, to be faster means to be emotional. So we don't want referees who are reacting emotionally with emotionally calls or reaction, only because we are very close to the play and we see something which looks very fast and strange. So what we have to do, our goal is to have the distance in order to see the big picture of the play. Every time you must have this goal. I have to see the big picture and I don't have to tunnel my vision. I need to have every time a wide vision, a wide eyes who can see from the beginning to the end of the action. This is the key when we talk about distance. When we talk about stationary, I repeat, is not moving when we are taking the decision, call or not call. Our decisions are calling or not calling. If we are stationary in this moment, our eyes are stationary too, so are not bouncing. Our concentration, our attention, for sure, increase if I am stationary. And with this thing, so I'm stationary, my eyes are not bouncing, my concentration and my attention increase, for sure, the possibility to have correct decision will increase. And this is our goal, to have a higher percentage of correct decision in our game. This is what we have to try to do. What we have to do when we are stationary, our job is all the time to look for an open angle. I need to arrive at the point and then look for the open angle. But we will talk about this later. If we put together distance and stationary, what is our task? We need to move first, then we need to stop. So I move, I stop, because probably now is the time to see what's happened. And that's now that I can see, because I'm stationary, what's happened. Now I have to decide. Because our job, guys and women, is to decide. But we need to put ourselves in the best condition to have the most highest percentage decision that we can have, correct decision. So move, stop, observe what's happening from the beginning to the end, and then decide. When I talk about from the beginning to the end, I want to say that we need to anticipate the play, so we need to move earlier, but we don't have to anticipate the call. And then we will go also with this concept again with another fundamental. So anticipate the play, not anticipate the call. Any questions so far, Mohammed?
There is no question.
Super. Let's go with point number 2. This is very easy. Referee the defense. When I was a referee, there was a lot of instructors that was telling me, you need to referee the space between the defensive and offensive. Now, luckily, this concept is not updated anymore, because I never saw the space making a foul. So we need to referee the defense. So we need to be focused on the illegality of the defensive player. As a referee, we are illegality hunter. We are the hunter of illegality. We have to look for illegality. So when we talk about this, now, okay, we need to find, we were talking before about moving. We need to find the best position. We need to put ourselves in the best position to see the space in order to referee the defense. This is the key. We need to find ourselves the best position in order to see what the defense is doing. And we need to look for illegality of the defensive player. Third point. This is really important. is not only stay with the play, and then we will see what it means, but I implement this sentence with stay with your call. And this is something that we need to pay attention, and please check yourself every time that you're making a call. When we talk about stay with the player, one of the classic situations is to protect the shooter. And this technique needs to be part of ourselves, our DNA. So the 4F technique, when every time there is every shot or every drive to the basket, we need to apply this 4F technique. The 4F are feet. So first of all, I need to check the feet of the shooter to see if it's 2 or 3 points, to see the travel, to see from what is the landing spot. Then I need to check the foul. If there is a defensive foul, who is touching the body, pushing the body, hitting the arm, whatever. Then I have to put the shooter again on the floor, because I want to know, and I want to exactly know and be aware when the shot finished. And now there is also the 4F, because this is also the implementing of the skills of the player to check if there is a fake, because a lot of shooters, when they realize that the shot is not going good, then they want to show us something which was not happening. That's why we need to be there. We need to be to have a very strict discipline. Every shot, every drive, feet, fall, floor, fake. This is a mantra for us. And we need to apply this every time. But then, remember that one of the most critical situations in our games is not when there is a shot with the basket, but when there is a shot which is missing the rims or missing the basket. So the rebounding situation. Please don't run away after a shot. And now I'm talking with the trail with the center. The lead has to stay there for sure. But rebounding coverage is absolutely something that we need to have in our mind every time there is a shot. So please don't move. Wait the new ball control before start to move in the new position. Don't run away after the shot. And then stay with your call. This is something which is really important, and not so always we are talking about this. What means stay with your call? We need to follow this protocol. I make the call wherever I am, and I need to use the verbal support. We will see later what means verbal support. So make the call, verbal support. Then protocol, don't move. 1, 2 seconds. Stay stationary from the point when you call the foul. Don't move forward unless there are situations of fighting or you feel that you need to go because something is happening. But generally, don't move. Stay in balance with your body. Why this? Because when you make the call, everybody is moving the head towards the sound, and they want to know who was blowing the whistle. And when they turn, there is something which has a big effect if they see one referee who is in balance without any problem, with the hands up, with the feet up, that I call the foul, head up, this is the third point, and I'm looking for the player eyes. I'm not running away from my call. If one player is turning after the whistle and then see one referee who is walking, and it's normal that when we are walking, our head goes down, it looks like that we are not sure about the call and that we are escaping from our call. No, don't move, head up. And it's not a challenge for the play, but you have to look for player eyes. Because probably in this moment, if the player wants to say something, we are ready to respond and to answer him immediately. Then we need to check the temperature of the game. So we need to show that we are in charge. So if there is a situation, then I can start to move. I will move to the table to report. If not, I will go close to the players. I will go to say something close to the player. I need to show that I have the feeling of the game. I know the temperature. Today is very cold, so I can go to the table immediately. It's very hot because there is something between players. I will stay, and now I will go to say something to the player. We need to be preventive, to be, how to say, to go before, to try to avoid the problem, not to run after the problem. And this is a great moment for us to be proactive. Then, if the temperature is okay, and I have the feeling that everything is fixed, now I can go to report. This is a protocol that I'm kindly ask you to follow every time. Try. You will see how big impact has this on the credibility and on your court image. Four-point. Positioning, open angle, 45, and then adjustment. As we said before, our goal is looking for illegal action. And if I have to look for illegal action, I need to have as much player as possible under my vision. That's why we are asking the referees, especially the lead, especially the trail, to have open angle 45, then 46, 47, 49, depends, and then adjust our position, because this is logical. If I have a close angle, I can see less player than if I have the open angle. This is very easy. That's why we need to have all the time an open angle in order to have more player as possible under our vision. This doesn't mean that we need to call everywhere, because then comes the mechanic, which is something different regarding IOT. But I have my duty, my role as a referee is to have as much as possible players under my vision. Then I will not make a call if something that I know that is in the primary of my colleague, but I have the feeling and I know exactly all the time what's going happening. The protocol. Also here, we were talking about moving in advance. So first of all, establish the open angle, 45 degrees in my position. Usually we say basic position, establish your open angle. Then, because the player are moving, the ball is moving, adjust to the play in order to maintain the open angle and many players under your vision. Adjust. Adjust means having small movement. We don't want to see referees who are moving like crazy under the basket as trail, as center. This is not adjustment. This is running after the game. We want only referees who are moving the hips, adjusting a little bit the leg, just to be all the time in open angle according to the movement of the ball or movement of the player. One of the key of our fundamentals is you have to move, but move with a purpose. Move because it's necessary to move, not move because the observer, the instructor told that you have to move. No, sorry. You have to move with a purpose, because if you understand, you have the feeling that if you make one step on your right, probably you can see two players better, you have better open angle. Go. And the other thing is, okay, mechanic, okay, everything that we study about the mechanic, but the mechanic is fantastic because 95% of the time we know exactly what to do. But in the moment that there is something different who is happening, and we need to do something extraordinary, something which is not written in the book, go wherever you need to go in order to officiate this play. So this is the key. And you will see that if you have the correct position, you will only adjust your position, you will have less move. And now we come back. Less move means more concentration, more attention, eyes are not bouncing, I can make my decision stationary. Everything is going together. 1 + 1 + 1, and then every time this is coming back. And this is why following all these points, the accuracy of our calls will be higher and higher and higher. Fifth point. Fifth point is making the call, decision-making, communication. Our job, our task is that we must be able to communicate our decision verbally using standard hand signals. When we talk about standard hand signals, we are talking about FIBA signals. And again, we will come later. So what is the procedure? When we make a decision to make a call, we have to blow the whistle. This blowing the whistle must be short, strong, and one time. Short, strong, one time. Beep, 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 beep. You can hear this only in the train station because the train is leaving or the bus is leaving. If we have the feeling that calling 6 times, beep, 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 it gives, how to say, more impact or make our call stronger, we are in the wrong way. Less is more. Short, sharp, strong, and one time. Blow the whistle. After we blow the whistle, please release the whistle out of your mouth. This is the time that we need to start to communicate with the voice. Not only. This is the moment where we need to prevent for our safety emotional reaction. So in the case of protest, in the case of emotional reaction by a player, which is normal because they are playing with the heart. So it's normal that after a foul, they have a human reaction. If we have the whistle in the mouth, it will be much easier and too easy for us to react, charging them a technical foul. And we don't want this kind of emotional reaction by the referee. So we want you to release the whistle immediately, because first, this is the time of communication verbally with the player, with the spectators, with the coaches, with our colleague. But also doing this, we will prevent a lot of emotional reaction which are leading to technical foul. I release my whistle, and now I need to support my decision verbally. Players, coaches must know, must recognize your voice. We want referees who are officiating not only with the whistle, but also with the voice. And believe me, if you will learn to officiate more and more and more with your voice, you will need less and less your whistle. And this will be a great benefit for the game. Support your decision verbally. Remember, less is more. To start to blow in the whistle 3-4 times, to start to make signals in the place where we are making the foul 3-4 times, showing the blocking foul or showing emotional signs, this is not giving power to your call. Is probably the message that we receive from outside, the player receives from outside, is that you are not so sure about your reaction and you want to sell us something which didn't happen, which is not good. And this is something which we need to work really, really hard. I want to come back only one moment here. Support your decision verbally. We will see later what means. So how we can support our decision verbally. But this is something where we are really working hard in FIBA and in all competition to, to implement this part from the referees. Regarding the call, we need to use also to understand that we have in our blowing the whistle, in our decision-making process, we need to use and to know that we have 3 different types of whistle time. We have the immediate whistle. The immediate whistle is the whistle that we need to do immediately to clean the game. When we see something which is rough play, player who are using elbow or are doing something which is not clean, against the spirit of the rule. Bam, here we need to stop immediately. No, nothing. Bam, bam. We need to give immediately a strong sign. Then we need to use the patient whistle, and patient whistle is the standard for us. What I mean with patient whistle, that we need to, and we come back to the previous point, we need to see for any action, the start, the develop, and the finish. Give yourself the time to see the beginning, the action, how it's going, and then to wait for the finish. Only in this way we can see how it's going, which impact has or had this illegal contact that we saw, and sometimes using this patient whistle we can avoid a lot of marginal calls, and nobody wants marginal calls. We as referees first. So the patient whistle should be the standard whistle for us. Every time before blowing the whistle, I need to see the start, the develop, and the finish of every action. The third one is regarding mechanic, is the cadence whistle, which is also really very, very important. And this is one of the most difficult whistles to do for our referees, because this is something which is connected to discipline, to mechanic, to trust your partner, to let your partner working, which is not the topic of tonight, but just a small mention. Cadence whistle is the call that we need to use when we are calling in secondary. But it called cadence whistle because we need to give the time to the referee who is in primary to see the standard, the start, the develop, and the finish from his side. So I have to give my colleague the time for a patient whistle, and only if this patient whistle is not coming, then I will come with my cadence whistle. So I will call something which is obvious in my secondary. This is really, really important. The cadence whistle is not easy, but it's something which is, how to say, this is what we call also the help call. But the help call, to be helped, we need to give the time to the one who is in charge to take his decision or her decision. This is something, for example, where in MBA, I was attending MBA clinics 2 times or 3 times in the last 2 years. And the cadence whistle is one of their topics where they are working harder and harder and harder. And if we use cadence whistle, we will avoid a lot of double whistle. And for sure, we will avoid triple whistle. And this is very, very important. Last point regarding IoT, which is signals and reporting. Again, I will give you what is the reporting protocol, which is also important. I blow the whistle, then I have to, since this year, to have a sharp walk to the spot when I will establish a visual contact with the table officials. From this year, it's not necessary anymore to run first, and second, to go very, very close to the table official. We need to have visual contact with the table official. Why this? Because our duty is to restart the game as soon as possible. Our duty is to reduce as much as possible the dead ball situations, because for us, we are very good when the time clock is running. We are not so good when the time clock is not running. So that's why we need to reduce as much as possible this moment. For this is the manual, this is the presentation that FIBA produced last year, and where there was the reporting switches. And for example, this is a lead table side. If I am a lead table side, I will not explain you, but how and where you can easily see where the lead has to go for reporting, and then when he will move for the next. Every time we need to move on a straight line, no more curving, not more going, running around the score table, straight walking through the table, and then straight walking to the next position. We have lead table side, trail table side, but this one you can study. It's no sense now for me to explain. But what is the goal of this reporting switches, new reporting switching, again, is to report the fouls in the position where I am very, very close to my next position in order to restart the game as soon as possible. This doesn't mean to do the things quickly and not in the professional way. We need to do the things in the professional way, following this kind of switches, and this will save us a lot of time, and it will save us a lot of problems that can occur during a dead ball situation. The second point, once we walk to the position where to report, we need to stop. Unfortunately, we are not in NBA when they are reporting walking. FIBA still has this protocol and we need to follow. So we need to stop. Then we need to be in balance. Again, we want to see persons who are in balance, who are comfortable. We need to breathe, and then we need to start to make our signal. Breathing is very important because breathing is the things that will allow us to be more in balance and to be more comfortable, also more relaxed with the face. Every signal has his own rhythm. It's like music, as a start, stop, 1, 2. So it's start, 1, 2, stop, and then the 1, 2. Don't do the things in hurry. For two reasons. The first one, again, we don't have to escape from our decision. We need to be confident with what we are showing, because our confidence will give the outcome to the other that probably we did a good decision. But second, remember that this reporting is because we need to communicate to the table officials. And now that the distance is not so close, our communication must be more effective. So now we need to be very clear, because the people who are at the score table has to understand from your signals, from your voice, what they have to write on the digital score sheet or in the paper score sheet. So that's why it's our duty to be clear. That's why we need to do the things properly, with the start, stop, 1, 2, in the proper time. How is the sequence? This is valid also when we use the verbal support. But okay, now we are reporting. The reporting sequence is team color, blue, 14, number, holding, whatever, 2 free throws, side. This is our sequence. Team color, number of the players, nature of the foul, penalty. This is with the hand and with the voice. So the verbal support here is crucial. You need to use your verbal support. Again, in your language, in English, depends the competition, but this is something that we have to do. And I was with a former NBA referee, and he said, this is the moment when you're making the signal, when you have to make your movie. This is the time for you, referee, to make the movie, but you cannot do the movie that you want. Your movie must be connected, very strong connected with what happened on the court. So the nature of the foul that we are showing must be exactly the same that really happened on the play. We cannot show him pushing when we call a foul for a hitting in the hand, because we will not be trustable. The player will say, hey, I didn't push. I hit in the hand. What did you see, ref? We need to be trustable. But that's why we need to make our movie. It's our showtime. It's our showtime, but our showtime is to show exactly what's happening on the court. And I'm coming back with one point that I was mentioning before. If we are using all the time the standard signals provided by FIBA, and suddenly something strange, something very important the crucial call of the game happened, and you were so good to take this last call, which is something which is out of the signal, or you need to show exactly what you see, what you saw, because it's the call of the game. It's very important decision. So if you were using all the time the standard signal, this is the time when you can use whatever signal you want, the signal that you feel is necessary to make clear what you saw and what you called. That's why if I'm using standard, the one time that I'm using exceptional, wow, will be really, really important. But if I'm using all the time exceptional, this will not have any value, add value. So use the standard in order to have this poker, this card with poker that you can play in any moment of the game to emphasize your decision, to give really more importance to your decision, and to save also your strong decision and very important decision. So use the standard to be able to use the not standard important 1-2 times per game. I did everything I have to do like we're talking, and now I will sharp walk into the new spot. Again, I repeat, with one goal, not running. We walk sharp with the goal to restart the game as soon as possible. Okay. With this, my presentation regarding IoT is over. I think it's, I don't know how much it was. It was almost 45 minutes. I didn't realize. So now it's your time. So whatever you have to ask regarding this, please don't hesitate. I'm here only for you and in order to answer to your question. If there is something which I was not clear, please let me know and we will come back. Whatever point you are disagree, whatever, I'm here. So please go. I will stop sharing my screen, okay?
Thank you so much. If there is any question, let me know, please. Write your question in chat. I will read that to Mr. Roberto, and also he can see that.
No question? Wow. It was very clear.
Yes.
Too much.
Exactly same as
boring.
No. Thanks, Roberto. After canceling.
Less is more examples. Fantastic. After canceling penalties, procedure. Canceling penalties, what means canceling penalties? Can you be more precise, Sarah?
Explain the reason behind changing the reporting system. While Ibrahim asked.
After canceling penalties, procedure, reporting for the table. But which kind of penalty I'm canceling? Because probably here there is probably language problem.
Let me open your mic. No problem, Sarah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Sarah.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you.
Thank you for this presentation. It's really good and nice to see everyone there. My question was about if we cancel penalties and go to report for that in front of the table, about the procedure, what we say first, I mean, we said the team colors for both teams, or we finish for one team, the team color, number, natural of the penalties we cancel, and what we will continue with.
But you cancel, you mean the basket?
I mean, No. I mean, if we cancel like 2 shots for the team A and 2 shots for team B, and we want to report this, we have a foul here and foul here, we cancel penalty.
Ah, okay, great. Now I understand. Sorry. So you have a situation with I don't know, technique, or unsportsmanlike foul, unsportsmanlike foul.
Yes.
So the first thing that you have to show, and you have to find the protocol, is the sequence. So blue, 14, unsportsmanlike foul, 2 free throws, and possession. Okay, this is what you say. Then white, 17, unsportsmanlike foul, 2 free throws, and possession. Okay, and then this is what you say. And then in this moment you are using only the voice, because we don't have any official signal to cancel the penalties. And then in this moment you say 2 free throws. You can use also your hands. So it's a 2 free throws and possession for blue team, 2 free throws and possession for white team. The 2 sanctions are canceled.
Yes.
So in this way, so we restart with I don't know, white ball, because the white ball it was. But this is why it's really important in this moment. Thank you for the question. It's really important, the verbal support. Because if I were not using the verbal support, I will be, how can I explain this kind of situation? I cannot. And this is also really important in this situation, to be cool. And one suggestion is, before starting reporting, I need to know exactly what I will go to report. Don't, as many times happen, and if you can see in a lot of video, that the referee starts with one situation and then they come back to look his colleagues or the number of the other player, and then it looks that they don't have to the idea what's going on. And so then I look myself lost, and then I started to make the second. No, please, before starting any kind of signals, I need to know that in the moment that I start, I want to finish with all the package. So do it. Maybe it's better to wait 10 seconds more, make your movie in your head, but then when you start, you need to show that you are exactly the owner of what's happening, and you know exactly how to do and what you are going to say.
Thank you, Roberto. I totally agree with what you're saying, because the using words, the verbal support in this situation is very important, because the table officials, if they don't understand what you are signaling, or it's very fast or something, they will not have any idea what they can write in the score sheet, and we will have many problems.
And I want to add another thing, which is also, thank you again for this question, because it's really important. Only one referee is talking in this situation. A lot of time we see that one referee start to talk, and then arrive another one, and then arrive another one, and this is giving a terrible image of our teamwork. So the protocol is, we can share our feeling, we can share our decision together before going to the table, but in the moment that we go to the table, is only one referee the situations, because otherwise it will be a mess. And the outcome is that we are 3 individuals on the court, or 2 individuals on the court, that we are not working together.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So,
thank you for your question.
Less is more. More example. Yes, less is more. Example. A lot of referees, when they are calling blocking foul, they are showing 4 times this in front of the player. This is something that we don't need. A lot of referees, when they call a foul on the shot, they start to show a lot of things like this or showing something that is not necessary in this moment. We have to show what's happening only in front of the table. If we want to tell something regarding what happened, we need only to use the voice. Blue, 14, you hit the hand, but I don't have to show anything. And this is giving us a big impact, because first, I will tell to the player that I know exactly what I call. And I don't have to show this, because moving the hands, moving our body, this will show emotions. And we cannot show emotions, especially during emotional situations. Center position during an attempt shot. This is regarding mechanic. What means? What is the? This is depends where is the shot. How can we explain more about the center position during attempt of shot? We need to find the space between shooter. We need to. There is okay. I want to answer to this question. I would like to say more wide. Not only as center, not only as trail, not only as lead. You, as a referee, is not on the IOT, but this is something that we need to understand. We need to put our eyes on the first active defender on the shot. It's not about, we have to know exactly when like we said, the 4F, so feet, floor, feet, fouls, floor, and fake. But on the other hand, I need to see exactly my eyes. I must be focused on the first active defender, what is doing, from where is coming. So I need to put myself in the position to see and to imagine when there will be the possible impact. And then I need to move and to adjust my position in order to see where this defensive player is coming and when we can have this impact. You said the referee must be always stationary when making a call, which is not the case in transition. Most of the time, while running, the call will be mostly emotional, especially when there is a reaction from the player. This may easily lead to immediate technical foul. How to avoid immediate reaction from the referees? The immediate reaction from the referee regarding technical foul, as I told you, is to split out the whistle in the moment that we call. This is the key to avoid immediate reaction. Remember, this is not the topic tonight, but we need to give to the player all the time, this is also valid for the coach, a second option. We always need to give them a second option. And if I have my whistle in the mouth, it's very difficult to give them a second option, because I will be such emotionally involved that I will charge immediately a technical foul. Regarding the transition, it's true. During the transition, fast break, it's very difficult to be stationary. Absolutely. But also here, we need to understand when the possible contact will occur. And we need to anticipate this moment. If you are very fast, we will anticipate this moment arriving on the baseline earlier than the situation will come. But if we are not fast enough, we need to stop our running and to put ourselves in the position to see the moment when the possible contact will come. Please, reporting after IRS, the protocol. All right. Oh, very interesting. Reporting after IRS. First of all, if we are talking about IRS, we need to have very clear that before going to IRS, I have to show my decision in front of the table. So everything that we were talking before, so the procedure must be followed. So I need to accept only for the fight situation, but now we are not talking about fight. Normal situation, first of all, unsportsmanlike foul, for example, I need to show in front of the table that my decision is unsportsmanlike foul. So blue, 14, unsportsmanlike foul, 2 free throws, and possession. After this, if I have the feeling and I want to go to the IRS, after this, I will make the official signals. which is now I will go to review the play with the official signal. Again, official signal and use the voice. It's not, how to say, mandatory to use the term IRS, because IRS can be something. Now we can support the signal. Now I will go to review the play. This is the signal. IRS means reviewing. So now doing this, then I will go to review. There is the protocol for the IRS. Now I don't want to talk about the protocol because it's long, but then I go to IRS, I check the situation with one of my partner, because we want at least two referees to check the IRS, and then we can decide to confirm or to not confirm, so to not confirm our decision. If I will confirm my decision, my duty is to come again in front of the table and show again the nature of the foul. So I will, it's only a repetition. So it's unsportsmanlike foul, blue 14, unsportsmanlike foul, 2 free throws and possession. Confirm. This is what we can say more. Or if I call an unsportsmanlike foul and I realize that it's a normal foul, we come back and we can say, after the review, downgrade. It's a personal foul, now blue 14, foul on the hand, 2 free throws, and we play. So that's why, again, we need to show again the signal of what we decide after the review. Whatever it is, the same decision or a different decision, but use the voice. More words, IOT, about cadence whistle. Third type, please. For sure. This is really, really important, and I'm happy that somebody is asking. Cadence whistle is the call that we are, how to say, demanded. We need to do when something which is obvious is happening in our secondary. But before calling, so before using the blowing the whistle, we need to give the time of our colleague who has the primary to make the decision. This is really connected to the teamwork and to the trust of the colleague. So something big is happening in my secondary. It's clear. I see. I need to give the time to my colleague who has the primary to blow the whistle. If this doesn't happen, I will go with the cadence whistle. And just to use the technique is very easy. I hope that you can see my face?
Yes.
Okay. Usually, when we blow the whistle, we are using the air of our throat. So I see, and I blow the whistle. No. Okay. Somebody said no. So when we are calling in a normal situation, so the standard, so it means the patient whistle, we see, and then we use the air of our throat. When we want to use the cadence whistle, we need to use the air of our belly. What means? We need to give the time to our colleague to make the call. So I see something, I'm sending my air on my belly, and if in this time the call is not arriving, then I will use this air to blow the whistle. It's half a second, less than half a second. And in basketball, half a second is, wow, it's a long time. So this is also a technique. Learn how to use the air from your belly and not all the time only the air from your throat. This is the question. I hope that it was clear regarding this cadence whistle. When I stationary and stay with the play, super, for possible contact in front of me, and the next play is also in my open angle, but a little bit far, do I need to adjust to close to the play? I don't know if I understand correct, but okay. Generally, it's a luxury situation when we can officiate only 1 against 1. There are 10 players on the court. We are 3 referees, so at least we have 3.3 players each. And generally, every referee is officiating a couple of match of mismatch. That's why a top referee needs to be able to officiate one matchup and also the following competitive matchup. That's why it's really important to have open angle. It's open angle means to be able to see what is happening in my first matchup, but I must be able also to see what can happen or is going to happen in my next following competitive matchup. So I need to adjust in order to have, again, not only 2. I don't want to have tunnel vision. Tunnel vision means also not only in one situation to see only the situation, but to see the situation and what is next. This is what is making the difference between a normal referee and the superior referees. The superior referees is the one who knows also what is happening next. What about the distance and stationary during the fight situation? Distance, you are the distance because you call, it's supposed to call. When we talk about distance and stationary, we are talking about calling the play. If there is fight situation, you need to go and try to impede the fight. Again, our duty, then there are a lot of technique, but we need to, if I can give a suggestion, in the fight situation, we need to behave like the fireman. And I don't know if you have the feeling or if you are aware about what the firemen are doing in case of fire. The first thing that they are doing is to isolate the fire. Then they will start to put the water into the fire. So our duty as a referees is as first to isolate the fight. Is not going into the fight to divide the players, because it's also dangerous. But our is to impede other players, other coaches from the benches or players from the benches or from the court to come in. So we need to isolate the fire. And once the fire is isolated, then it will be much easier because we know exactly where is the point, where is the fire, where is the problem. It will be much easier to switch off this kind of fire.
Thank you so much. If there is another question, right, please.
No more question.
No more question. Thank you so much again for taking out your precious time. Appreciate that. Let me open your mic, Mr. Yunus. You want to say something, maybe?
Give the microphone to Mr. Yunus.
Well, thank you very much. Number one, thank you for letting me in. That's the first thing I really, Mr. Muhammad, thank you very much. Mr. Roberto, as you said, I really missed you for a long time. And we were hoping actually to have you with us as usual. But as you know, this problem with this corona. So good luck all, and thank you a lot. And I hope that I will be over here with you guys and do my best if there is anything to help. I am here, and this is what can I do? And I love this game. I love basketball. I love you all, and all the best. Thank you very much. I wish you Eid Mubarak to all, and good luck, and see you somewhere sometime, inshallah.
For sure, inshallah. Thank you very much.
So much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time, Mr. Roberto. Stay safe all. Have a good night. Ciao.
Have a good night. Thank you very much to everybody, and see you somewhere soon. Bye-bye. All the friends, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.